Welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining me today because we are looking at something that is, quite literally, shifting how we think about software development. We're talking about Claude Code. Now, if you've been using AI to help you write software, you might be used to fancy autocomplete tools, or a chat window where you just copy and paste snippets. But Claude Code, it is an entirely different beast. We are officially stepping into the era of the agentic coding assistant.
Just take a moment and ask yourself, what if your AI didn't just suggest code, but actually executed it? Imagine a workflow where your AI moves way past simple recommendations. Instead of just telling you how to fix a bug, it traces the issue through your entire codebase, identifies the root cause, writes the fix across multiple files, and then verifies that it actually works. That's a massive leap from passive suggestion to active execution, and it's exactly what we're breaking down today.
So, here's our quick roadmap for today. First, we'll meet your new agentic assistant. Then, we'll look at how to code from any environment, how to automate that daily developer grind, how to connect your external tools, and finally, we'll dive into advanced agents and automation.
All right, let's jump right in with Section 1, Meet Your Agentic Assistant. Notice the really specific language being used here. We're talking about active verbs. This is an AI assistant that autonomously reads your codebase, edits files, actually runs commands, and integrates directly with your tools. It's not just sitting there waiting for you to copy and paste its output, it acts. It's a full-featured engine that understands your entire project context, running right alongside you to get things done autonomously.
Moving on to Section 2, Code from Any Environment. This tool is incredibly adaptable to however you prefer to work. It really doesn't matter what your setup is. If you're a purist who never leaves the command line, Claude Code is there with a terminal CLI for full project management. If you love your IDE, there are plugins for VS Code and JetBrains that give you inline diffs right in your editor. There's a dedicated desktop app for running multiple visual sessions side by side, and honestly, this is amazing. There's a web version where you have zero local setup and can just kick off long-running tasks right in your browser. You aren't boxed into a single way of working at all.
And because these sessions aren't tied to a single surface, your workflow becomes completely fluid. You can kick off a complex, long-running task on the web, or even dispatch a task from your phone while you're out grabbing coffee. Then, using remote control and the teleport command, you can pull that exact same session right back into your local terminal the second you sit down at your desk. It is totally seamless.
All right, Section 3, Automating the Developer Grind. Let's be real, we all have that soul-crushing work we actively avoid. Claude Code is designed to take that exact grind totally off your plate. We're talking about writing tests for legacy code, sweeping through a project to fix a massive wave of lint errors, intelligently resolving those nasty merge conflicts that make you want to pull your hair out, keeping your dependencies updated, and yeah, even writing your release notes. By offloading these essential but super repetitive chores, you're freeing up your mental energy for the actual creative architecture of your software. But here's the kicker. Claude doesn't just write the code for these fixes, it handles the entire life cycle of the change. It works natively with Git. It'll automatically stage your changes, write a descriptive commit message based on the actual context of the fix, create a new branch, and genuinely open the pull request for you. It handles that whole commit workflow from start to finish without you needing to jump in and manually type out a dozen Git commands. And to make sure it does all of this exactly the way you like it, Claude learns your project. You can just drop a claude.md markdown file in your root folder to set persistent coding standards, preferred libraries, or review checklists. But even better than that, Claude builds auto memory as it works. It passively saves learnings, like specific build commands or unique debugging insights, and it carries them across sessions without you having to write down a single thing. It literally gets smarter about your specific code base every time you use it.
Section 4. Connecting your external tools.
Normally, a standard AI is kind of stuck in a box, right? Isolated, only knowing what sits right there in your code editor. But Claude Code utilizes the Model Context Protocol, or MCP. This is an open standard that connects AI tools to external data sources. With MCP, your coding assistant isn't isolated anymore. It can read your design documents in Google Drive, it can push updates to those dreaded Jira tickets, and it can pull critical context directly from your team's Slack channels. It sees the whole picture.
Just picture this exact scenario, because it's wild. A user in your company finds a bug. They simply mention @Claude in Slack and describe the problem. Because of these integrations, Claude can read that Slack message, trace the bug through your codebase, fix it, test it, and generate a pull request. All of that triggered from a simple chat message. It completely collapses the distance between a bug report and a deployed fix.
Which brings us to Section 5, Advanced Agents and Automation.
This is where things go from helpful to truly revolutionary. You aren't just limited to one AI helper. You can spawn multiple Claude Code subagents that work on different parts of a task simultaneously. Imagine a lead agent acting as your project manager. It takes a massive feature request, breaks it down, assigns the subtasks to background agents to run in parallel, and then seamlessly merges all their results together. You are essentially managing an entire AI development team right from your terminal.
And remember, that team doesn't sleep. With routines, you can schedule recurring tasks because it runs on Anthropic managed infrastructure. So while your computer is shut down at 10 p.m., it's analyzing a continuous integration failure overnight. At 8 a.m., before you've even had your coffee, it's completed your morning PR reviews. At 5 p.m. on Friday, it's running a weekly dependency audit. It's a tireless system, constantly maintaining the health of your codebase behind the scenes.
So I want to leave you with a pretty massive question to think about today. Now that your AI can run agent teams, fix bugs, and review pull requests while you sleep, how are you going to spend your newfound development time? We are moving past the daily grind and into a space where your primary job is high-level architectural thinking and creative problem-solving. This isn't just a new tool, it's a completely new paradigm for what it means to be a developer. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I highly encourage you to start imagining what you can build with a team like this at your fingertips.